Hello friends, add 1/6 of a stick or 20 grams of melted butter, 1½ cups or 180 grams of bread flour, then half a cup or 110 grams of milk at room temperature, and 1 teaspoon of salt. Mix everything thoroughly with a spatula or a spoon. Take your time here. The flour should be evenly moistened. Then use your hands to knead the dough for about 5 minutes. Kneading builds up the gluten, which gives us a smooth, elastic dough. If you notice the dough sticking to your hands, you can lightly flour them, but try not to add too much extra flour. Once the dough is smooth, cover the bowl with plastic wrap. Place it in the refrigerator for 1 hour. Place 2 medium potatoes into a pan. Cover with water. Add 1 teaspoon of salt. Put the lid on and simmer until the potatoes are tender. This usually takes about 20 to 25 minutes. To check if they're ready, pierce one with a knife. If the knife slides in easily, the potatoes are done. Drain the water and set them aside. Place 1 potato into a bowl. The second potato stays in the pot. We'll need it later. Now take a fork and mash the potato right in the bowl until it's smooth and fluffy. Warm potatoes mash much easier, so it's best to do this step while they're still hot. Now, add 2 tablespoons of mayonnaise. Mix it in well until creamy. This mixture will be part of our filling. Friends, it warms my heart to see where you're from. Share your country and city, and if you're in the US, let me know your state. Now, let's return to our dough. Take it out of the refrigerator and place it on a work surface. Divide it into 2 equal parts. 1/2 we'll use now, and the other we'll save for later. Roll the first half into a neat circle, about 22 centimeters in diameter. As you roll, keep the thickness even so it bakes nicely. This part always reminds me of family kitchens. The table dusted with flour, the rolling pin moving back and forth, and the warm smell of fresh bread soon to come. If you have any questions about the recipes, leave them in the comments and I'll respond as soon as I notice them. Next, grate 100 grams of soft cheese. You can also use any cheese that melts well and has a creamy, rich flavor. Pick the one your family loves most. It will make the flatbread even more special. If you liked the video, feel free to give it a like. Your support is always welcome. Sprinkle half of this grated cheese evenly over the dough. Then spread the potato mixture over the cheese, smoothing it out gently. And now, sprinkle the remaining half of the cheese on top. Carefully fold the dough over the filling, just as I show in the video, and seal the edges. This step not only keeps everything tucked inside, but also helps the flatbread hold its shape as it cooks. And did you know? When potatoes and cheese are paired together, they give us a wonderful balance of energy from the potatoes and protein and calcium from the cheese. A truly satisfying combination. Then gently roll it out again to flatten slightly. This helps distribute the filling evenly and gives the bread its traditional shape. Now, heat a frying pan over medium heat Add a small piece of butter and let it melt. Friends, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell if you'd like to see more recipes like this one. Place the filled flatbread into the pan. Fry until golden on one side, about 3 to 4 minutes. Then carefully flip with a spatula or tongs and cook until golden on the other side. When it's ready, lift the flatbread gently from the pan and place it on a plate. Let it sit for just a moment. This helps the cheese inside settle slightly. Then cut it into small slices. As the steam escapes, you'll see the soft potato and gooey cheese peeking through the layers of golden dough. Now, let's make the second flatbread, a heartier, more filling version. Now, take the potato we saved earlier. As you cut it into small cubes, think about how this simple vegetable has always been at the heart of family dinners, filling, nourishing, and bringing everyone together. Once the potato is diced, place it into a mixing bowl. Now melt a little butter in a frying pan. The kitchen already starts to smell so cozy when the butter melts. Finely chop 1 onion. Onions don't just bring flavor, they're little helpers for our heart and immunity, making every dish not only tastier, but healthier too. Add it to the pan. Let it slowly soften and turn golden. As it cooks, the onion releases its gentle sweetness, filling the pan with that homely aroma we all know so well. Now add 1/3 of a pound or 150 grams of ground beef to the pan. Break it up with a spoon as it cooks. Season with half a teaspoon of salt and half a teaspoon of black pepper. Cook until the meat is browned and the onion is golden, then remove from the heat. Add the beef and onion mixture to the bowl with the diced potato. Mix everything together. This will be the filling for our second flatbread. Take the other half of our dough and roll it into a circle, just like before. Spread the potato and beef filling evenly over the dough. Finally, chop a bunch of parsley. Fresh parsley adds color, flavor, and so many health benefits. It's rich in vitamin C and helps with digestion. Sprinkle it on top. Now add the remaining cheese, spreading it evenly. Fold the dough over the filling and flatten gently, just as we did with the first one. In the frying pan, melt a little more butter. Place the flatbread in and cook until golden brown on both sides. Be patient and keep the heat on medium. This way, the dough cooks through, while the outside becomes beautifully crisp. Once it's done, take it out of the pan and place it on a plate. Cut it into slices and take a bite. Warm, golden, and so satisfying. The beef and potato filling, with melted cheese and fresh herbs, makes this flatbread hearty enough for a full meal. I hope you try these recipes at home and enjoy them as much as I do. Thank you for cooking with me today. But that's not all. I've a second equally delicious recipe for you. Start with 1 cup, or 225 milliliters, of milk at room temperature. Add 2 tablespoons of sugar. Then sprinkle in 1½ teaspoons of instant dry yeast. Stir everything well until combined. Sugar here plays a special role. Now cover the bowl with plastic wrap and leave it for about 30 minutes. Now, take 2½ cups, or 300 grams of bread flour. Sift it into the bowl. Sifting may seem like a small step, but it makes such a difference. The flour becomes light and airy, and the dough will turn out softer and fluffier. It also helps break up any lumps so the texture stays smooth. If you're using all-purpose flour instead, remember it absorbs a little less liquid than bread flour, so you may need slightly less milk later on. Add 1 teaspoon of salt for balance. Then give the flour a good mix. You can use a whisk or simply your hand. What matters most is that the salt is spread evenly before we combine everything with the wet ingredients. Now, let's return to our yeast mixture. Slowly pour it into the bowl with the flour, letting the liquid soak in bit by bit. Pouring gradually helps the flour absorb the milk evenly, so the dough comes together smoothly. Begin mixing everything well. At first, the dough may feel a little sticky, and that's perfectly normal. With each turn of the spoon or each movement of your hand, it starts to change. This is where the magic begins. Making dough is all about patience. Once everything is mixed, lightly sprinkle some flour onto your countertop. Place the dough on top. Now it's time to knead. Think of this step as giving the dough a little love. Press it forward, fold it back, turn it, and repeat. At first, it may feel a bit sticky, but with every movement, it becomes smoother and easier to handle. Kneading isn't just about shaping. It strengthens the dough, making it soft. Now, add 1/6 of a stick or 20 grams of soft butter to the dough. As you knead it in, you'll feel the dough changing under your hands. The butter makes it silky, rich, and wonderfully soft. This step is what gives bread that tender texture we all love. If you're kneading by hand, get ready for a little arm workout. Work with the dough for at least 15 minutes, pressing and folding until it becomes smooth and elastic. If you're using a mixer, simply let it run until the dough reaches that same soft, stretchy feel. To check if it's ready, do the window pane test. Take a small piece of dough and gently stretch it. If it forms a thin, translucent sheet without tearing, you've done it. Your dough is perfect. Now, place the dough into a bowl, cover it with plastic wrap, and let it rise in a warm spot for about 1 hour. While the dough is rising, let's prepare the garlic butter. Take 6 large cloves of garlic and grate them finely. I like using a box grater because it releases all those natural oils, making the flavor deeper and richer. And the smell at this moment is just incredible. It fills the whole kitchen. If you prefer, you can use a garlic press instead. The most important thing is to make sure the garlic is very fine, so it blends smoothly with the butter later on. Once it's ready, transfer the garlic into a small bowl. Now, into the bowl with the garlic, add 1 teaspoon of mustard, 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Then add half a cup, or about 60 grams, of soft butter. Season with 1 teaspoon of salt, 2 teaspoons of oregano, and 1 teaspoon of rosemary to bring in those warm herbal notes. Next, finely chop a bunch of fresh parsley. I love this step. The bright green color and fresh aroma lift the whole mixture, balancing the richness of the butter and garlic. Sprinkle it in, then mix everything thoroughly until smooth and fragrant. This garlic butter will make your bread absolutely irresistible, rich, aromatic, and full of flavor. It's the little secret that transforms a simple loaf into something truly special. Now let's check our dough. By this time, it should have doubled in size and feel soft and airy when you touch it. You'll know it's ready if it has that light, spongy texture, almost like a little pillow. Sprinkle some flour on your table to prevent sticking, and gently transfer the dough onto it. Roll it out into a rectangle, working carefully so you don't press out all that lovely air the yeast has created. Think of it as handling a delicate fabric. Guide it with the rolling pin, but let the dough stretch naturally. That air inside is what gives us the fluffy, tender bread we're looking forward to. So treat it gently. Once the dough is rolled out, spread the garlic butter generously across the surface, leaving just a small border around the edges. This rich, fragrant butter will soak into the bread as it bakes, filling every bite with flavor. Don't worry about spreading it perfectly evenly. A few extra swirls here and there only make the bread more delicious. After all, a little extra butter has never spoiled a good loaf. Now, let's add the cheese. Grate 5 ounces or 150 grams of mozzarella. I love how it falls in soft curls, perfect for melting. Sprinkle it in a light, even blanket over the garlic butter, leaving a small border so the roll seals later. Gently pat the mozzarella so it clings to the dough. That helps it melt into all the layers and gives us that lovely stretchy pull. Next, grate 3 ounces or 90 grams of cheddar. Its sharper, tangy flavor balances the gentle mozzarella beautifully. Scatter it evenly from corner to corner, but still keep that border clean. Don't rush this step. A calm, even hand means every bite will be nicely cheesy. Now, grate 2 ounces, or about 60 grams, of Parmesan cheese. Parmesan brings a nutty, slightly salty note that ties all the flavors together and gives the bread its signature golden finish. Sprinkle it gently over the top as the final layer. As it bakes, the Parmesan will melt into the mozzarella and cheddar, creating a rich, aromatic crust. This trio of cheeses makes the bread irresistible. Using a dough cutter, slice the roll into even pieces, just as I show in the video. Take your time here. Keeping the pieces close in size helps them bake evenly, so every roll turns out soft inside with a golden finish on the outside. They don't need to be perfectly identical. A little variation only adds to that rustic, homemade charm. What matters most is that each piece has its share of those delicious cheesy layers. Once the dough is cut, stack the pieces gently on top of each other, like a little tower of cheesy layers. Handle them with care so the filling stays inside. This stacking is what creates that beautiful flaky texture as the bread bakes. Now, carefully transfer the stack into a bread mold lined with parchment paper. The pieces should sit snugly together, but don't press them down. Give the dough just enough space to rise. As it bakes, the dough will puff up and separate into soft, airy layers. Cover the dough with plastic wrap and let it rise once more for about 1 hour. By then, it should puff up beautifully, looking even lighter and fluffier than before. Just before baking, brush the top with the remaining garlic butter. This not only gives the bread a gorgeous golden crust, but also infuses it with one last touch of garlicky aroma. Now, place the mold into a preheated oven at 360 degrees Fahrenheit, or 180 degrees Celsius, and bake for about 30 minutes. When the bread is ready, take it carefully out of the oven and let it cool just a little. Then slice into it. The crust is beautifully golden, and inside you'll find those soft, cheesy, garlicky layers. The aroma is irresistible. Warm bread, melted cheese, and the gentle fragrance of garlic all blending together. I hope this comforting, cheesy garlic bread brings as much joy to your home as it always does to mine. Thank you for cooking with me today. Until next time, happy cooking.